on the same level field. That would be like thieves breaking into your house and you keeping them out, and then them saying, well, it's tit for tat, you kept shooting out of the window, so we have to keep shooting into your house. That's not how it works. So do a little bit of research, not much, and you will see you've got an aggressor, you've got a defender. Not
He did say I could respond, so real quick, just mute your mic, I'll be brief. All right? But Mayor, I'm not even sure, and I'm not trying to insult you, but I'm not sure you understand the definitions of the words you're using, right? Tit for tat, this implies that there's a back and forth. This in no way, shape, or form puts them on the same moral, platform, all right? So Israelis can still be the victim, right, whilst engaging in a tit for tat. I see in no way, shape, or form how this quote-unquote silences the victim.
Okay, well, I will try to explain it. So, hold on. I will do it like in one sentence. I think that when you're doing tit for tat, you are focusing on the action and not on the intention. If one side is shooting in order to break into your house, and you are shooting in order to defend your house, yes, you may be engaging in a tit for tat. They will fire, you will fire back. But the only one that can actually stop it is the aggressor. Meaning that if they will say, okay, enough, then it will be over. The guy that is defending himself cannot say, I'm putting down my gun.
Well, what happens?
That's the difference. The
intention. Malcolm, let me interject here, please. I've been trying.
Get in. Let him talk. Malcolm, by the way, can you just read the definition for tit for tat that they put in?
May I?
No, Malcolm is making his case.
Hold on, let's go while I read that.
Beautiful.
No, can you address what I said about the intention and not the action? Like the intention, the defense is, the intention is to defend themselves. And the aggressor is meaning to harm.
Okay, I'm going to address it by asking you a question. What happens, right, when both sides see themselves as the victim and the other as the aggressor? What happens then?
That is fine. You need to make up your own mind about who is the aggressor, who can stop it tomorrow and be harmless, and who, if they will stop it, will still be harmed.
Maybe part of the problem here is we're talking in terms of groups, and instead, because Arabs or Palestinians did something wrong to state of Israel, etc., doesn't excuse actions by the state of Israel to individuals that had nothing to do with that action, and vice versa. Just because the state of Israel does something bad.
That's a really wonderful point. So let's analyze.
I'm getting to my bigger point. So all this is talking in groups. That still doesn't excuse things like Stedler violence in the West Bank. It still doesn't cause to a farmer, nor does it excuse something like October 7th. So this whole discussion is just why Arabs did this or Israel's do this, when in reality it is individual acts by both parties that cannot be justified.
Okay, that's really fair, Brent. Let's analyze. Let's analyze the situation. Let's do it. Let's take your paradigm, which I agree with. If you, just because a group of X did this, doesn't mean you get to respond against the entire group X. So which group is indiscriminately throwing bombs, targeting and trying to kill civilians, and which group is trying the hardest not to kill civilians, and actually doing a very good job of avoiding civilians, and then getting told that every person they hit is a civilian. So we have to take that assessment. And when you throw in settler violence, let's discuss what is the quote unquote violence, because I think everyone here on stage will condemn price tag. We'll all condemn it, but you cannot compare that to knife with a hatchet wielding people coming into homes and hacking people to death. So you have to make it
So fair enough, but can I briefly respond to that real quick? So fair enough.
I've been trying to make a.
So I just want to briefly respond to Mir. I'll be really quick. So if you look at the West Bank, it is blatantly a violation of Geneva Conventions that Israel signed on to move settlers into land that they do not say that that's their own. Israel doesn't annex the West Bank because it knows it would have a problem with the population there about how to deal with their citizenship. It moves settlers there and justifies those settlers or puts those settlers in under a legal framework every 5 years and passes a law in Knesset saying that they have full rights as Israeli citizens. So what occurred in Gaza, absolutely horrendous. That doesn't therefore excuse violations of international law in moving settlers into military occupation.
Brent, that's
Exactly. Brent, see, the settler issue was sorted back in 2005, if I remember. Okay. Now, this is an entirely different issue that's popped up in 2024. So I think the problem here is that whatever propaganda that they have been pushing, like there's an entire propaganda machine at work behind this. Okay, and I think the world as a whole has succumbed to some extent of that particular narrative. Yeah, so we need to be very specific and very careful about the language that we use. We cannot call it tit for tat because it just isn't tit for tat. Okay, it's not just an aggressor and some others fighting back against them. It is what it is. It is terrorism that's happening from the end of Hamas and Israel trying to defend its own people from it.
So, Sal, if you articulately said well that it is not that what's going on in the West Bank is not an excuse for the Gaza war. You also then took as you just said it without any basis at all that what's going on in the West Bank is a violation of the Geneva Convention. That's actually a conversation that can be had. It's been brought up in the UN multiple times, and it's not clearly a violation of the Geneva Convention, and it is not clearly occupied territory because it was disputed territory stolen in 1948, and it's most definitely not illegally occupied territory. So if you're just going to say and you cannot compare, even if an illegal Geneva Convention settlement is problematic, you cannot compare that to a massacre. So every step of that statement, you were basically trying to say tit for tat and saying it much more sophisticated and nice.
It's a minimization of the situation, is what it is, right?
It's
But
not
if
a
you want to
minimization.
have
You totally warped the legal status of the West Bank. I mean, the legal status of the West Bank is a military occupation
Based on
after
what?
the six. Based on there's no formal annexation and based on they are controlling the West Bank
Okay, so
after
define
the
the
60.
difference between a military occupation, illegal military occupation, mind you, and a disputed territory. Because land that was stolen in 1948 and then due to an aggressive war waged on them was won back. So now
Exactly.
The UN division in 1948 was nowhere near. The UN division wasn't settler, but if you're going back to 1948 borders, I would say you are implicitly saying that is the case. The West Bank.
How Israel ended up having that.
Stop interrupting.
Don't assume what he thinks, okay? He wasn't talking about it.
The UN settlement was not accepted by the Arabs. They said we want the whole thing. It was never accepted by the Arabs, so that doesn't count. I'm talking about the 49 armistice law. So after Israel declared independence in 1948, they were attacked by 5 Arab nations, where the legionnaires managed to grab land and steal it, which had nothing to do with them, and they never gave it to Palestinians. They never created an independent state. They did give citizenship to Palestinians as opposed to Egypt, so they did that, but they made them second-class citizens, and they weren't allowed to own land. So they stole the land. Then they made an aggressive war in 1967, which Israel run back. So if you win back stolen land, Israel, they never annexed it, that is true, but to say it's certainly an occupation, you're denying the fact that it's disputed territories.
I mean,
And the reason that makes a huge difference is because according to the UN resolution, which I could look up the number now, it says that Israel will give back territories. Israel has offered back parts of territories. It does not say the territory. does not say the entire thing, it says pieces of it. Israel has offered back 98% of it, and the Palestinians refuse to accept it. So it's still disputed which areas will be Israel, which areas will be, if there ever is a peaceful Palestinian state. So in this disputed territories, Israel has the full right to build on it in the meantime. It is not occupied majority. Jordan gave all claims to it in '94. So you bringing up a UN resolution that's for a very different purpose is incorrect, and then you're saying it's guaranteed. This is it. It's not. You haven't gone through the concept.
Israel occupied the West Bank after '67. Before that, Jordan had it. Jordan did give up any claims to the West Bank in the 80s just to kind of normalize relations with Israel. But that was a military occupation after '67.
Repeating it doesn't make it right. Deal with the fact that it was stolen by Jordan and went back.
Who recognized Israel as part of the West Bank at any point?
The UN resolution at the end of the 6-Day War, Jeff wants to talk next. It clearly is worded that Israel would give part of the territories. So I'm not saying some territories. That is by definition disputed territory. That means exactly which villages and which settlements will be for what has yet to be undecided. So by definition, it's not occupied, it's disputed. Now, Jeff,
I think most of the international community, and frankly, the only people that have stopped resolutions against that is the U.S. because we vetoed multiple resolutions.
You know what is the OIC?
now you're basically.
You know what the OIC is?
Right. International community, you're basically saying is 54 Muslim nations who have the majority are
exactly
Israel. Like, who cares? Like, I just brought to you laws and facts and comments that the only debate that appeal to authority, and the authority are the people that want to annihilate Israel. So, okay.
Can I get a few sentences to respond to this, or is that not allowed? I guess it's not allowed.
If I could just jump in real quick, since you guys have been going back.
Can you tell me when I'm allowed to respond to this, when I get a chance?
Sure, not a problem. I just want to say, Mayor, I award you 40,000 points on that last conversation. I award Brent none. We're all stupider for having heard him, and we should move on to keep him from embarrassing himself more. Thank you.
Don't listen to that. Jeff is the
On
only
that
guy.
note, Brent, would you like to add?
Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, I think that is kind of a narrative that you put together when the international community considers the land occupied no different than the legal status that Iraq was when we overthrew Saddam. Military occupation is not a bad thing. It is part of being part of a legal status that is
Your claim wasn't that it was an occupation. Your claim that it was an illegal occupation. So now you're.
No, I never normalized. I never used the term illegal.
You did in fact use the term illegal.
I would. If the room is recorded, I would challenge anybody to find the word that is word illegal.
The problem that he said, Mayor, what he said is because
It's fine.
I have never used the term illegal.
It's fine. If you want to call it illegal.
I said moving settlers.
Correct. It's fine if you want to call it illegal occupation, and moving settlers into a legal occupation is still a problem. But you haven't responded to anything that I said. All you're saying is international community. It is not like Iraq. Iraq was a sovereign nation. The West Bank was stolen by Jordan. Jordan admitted to that. Everyone knew that it was stolen in 48, 49 August is fine. They went into Gush Etzion and murdered every Jew and stole the land. They went into the old city, they accepted a ceasefire, and they marched them out while they watched them literally through the flames of their stores and homes burning. This is what happened in 48. No one denies it. They stole the land. Israel took it back, not because they said it's time to take it back. They could have. Anytime before 48 and 57, Israel could have said, we want our land back, and it waged war against Jordan. They did not. They waited for a war of annihilation and then took it. And on top of that, the only reason they took it then was because Iraq said, we're going to come and kill you, so they had to bomb the bridges over the Jordan River. So this land that was lost by Jordan after being stolen from Israel, Israel wanted back. Israel still did agree to a UN resolution to give some of it to a future Palestinian state. That's the only legal document we have, is that UN resolution saying some of it will go towards a future state. So the old city of Jerusalem is not going back. Israel's not giving that back. Israel's actually annexed it at this point, and they have the full right to annex it. So you can't both tell me that Israel has a right to annex it if they want to, and tell me that it's the same legal status as Iraq, which America had no legal right to annex. They're not the same thing. One's an undisputed territory, which will eventually be annexed. One is a military occupation. They're very, very different.
Okay, can I have 3 sentences to respond? Okay, sentence 1, if that is true, why don't they annex it? Sentence 2, can you point to me a Geneva Convention that defines a disputed territory? And sentence 3, if it's not a disputed territory, is an occupied territory, which can be legal, but the 4th Geneva Convention prohibits occupying powers from transferring population there.
Can somebody, somebody here in the room disturbed me, so I think I'm going to answer your 2 sentences. Your first question was, why don't they annex it? Because that's disputed. It's waiting. That's why don't they annex it? Because it's disputed. They're waiting for a resolution and a Palestinian government. They offered parts of it back multiple times, including the last one, Omar, offering 98% of it back. It's area A, it's area C. That's the definition of disputed. You don't just annex disputed land. You wait for the dispute to end.
No, that is not a definition. Please provide a reference. I can provide a reference for military occupation. Please provide an international Geneva Convention about what
I can look for a Geneva Convention.
It's called the Oslo Accords.
I'm well aware of the Oslo Accords.
No, but the Oslo Accord is not a Geneva Convention. But the fact that you're reference a military occupation and not a disputed, which I could look for if you find it, is already, it's a military occupation. A military occupation means you're holding someone else's sovereign territory. This has never been anyone's land ever. This does not count, this is not covered in anything that you can point to in a military occupation. There never was a Palestine. There never was a land that was taken. This land was stolen by Jordan and given up by Jordan. That means Israel has a right to annex it. That's not being discussed in a legal military occupation at all. So whether I can find exactly what happens is disputed or not, by your own admission, what you're pointing to does not count for the West Bank.
What, military occupation?
You can't call that a military occupation. If you have a legal military occupation, can you annex it?
No,
you just say no. Right. So the fact that Israel has the right to annex it, and Israel has annexed parts of it, and the UN resolution gives Israel the right to annex pieces of it, shows it does not fit under that part of the Geneva Conventions.
I think you're stretching just to stretch.
Okay, let's say I am. Let's just pretend I am. Your original statement of walking here and saying what Israel's doing in the West Bank is clearly illegal, but at least you have gotten to the point that you're not sure is definitely.
No, I said the occupation, a military occupation is not illegal. Transferring population. I said transferring populations into a legal occupation is illegal. Which is still clearly illegal. I don't take that back at all.
Once again, you said clearly illegal, but when I took you to the wall and showed you why it's not clearly illegal, you had no response. So it's possible that
you made up a term disputed so it could be defined as occupied, and then you went.
Okay, I didn't make up the term. You obviously have never read anything else on it. I also showed you how it
then cite something on it.
I also did show you how it doesn't fit into legal occupation. I also cited for you the UN resolution that clearly says Israel will not disengage from the entire area. It will annex some of it. And I also showed you Israel has annexed the old city totally legally under the rules. So you have not answered any of those, and you keep going back to a definition and you have to at least admit that there is an argument here. So you come in and saying that Israel building settlements is clearly illegal and trying to equate that with a massacre, you have to admit it's not equatable with a massacre and it's not clearly illegal. At best, it's questionable.
Hey, Mayor, one more thing. I'm going to give you another 12,000 points, and you forgot to mention to Brent that it's actually not illegal for people to voluntarily move into territories such as the West Bank. What he's referring to is the forced transfer of people into territory. That is a violation of the Geneva Convention, and that is not what is happening.
Okay, so a few points on UN Security Council Resolution 242 calls for the withdrawal of Israeli armed forces from territories occupied in the conflict.
Territories?
So let me finish.
No,
So,
no,
let me-
242, no, 242, let's say, not territories.
So
Our area?
can I get out the whole thing?
You will.
UN Security Council Resolution 2334 reaffirmed that Israeli settlements in occupied Palestinian territories have no legal valid nature.
I don't even know what you mean by legal validation, but from resolution.
So you're happy to look at the resolution and look at it.
Those words
So
don't
to
have
say
any-
to stretch it and say that Israel didn't do what is perfectly fine. I mean, Israel was absolutely attacked in 1967 and responded in a miraculous way and occupied land. To kind of stretch it and then say, well, this is an occupied military occupation, which is the legal structure that they are there. There's no really other legal, internationally recognized legal structure for them to be there. To kind of stretch it and say, well, no, this is not occupied, it's disputed without any sort of sign of exactly what that is, I think is a major stretch.
Brent, what you were saying, that your definition by itself is already not applicable. So you can not, even if you don't have the disputed argument, your claim is already broken. It's like two different claims. One is talking about the disputed, okay, you can forget about it. But the definition of occupied land, you would ask you occupied from who?
I mean, Jordan claimed it pre-67, and Israel was attacked, and they legitimately defeated their enemies and occupied new territory, which is a perfectly fine. Jordan
annexed it, and then we took it in a war, in a defensive war, right?
Yeah, in a defensive war. Yes, you occupied the territory.
So what are you debating?
I'm debating you have a legitimate occupation after the war. I am saying if that's the case, you cannot transfer a population there under the Geneva Convention.
Daniel, I award you 613 more points. Brent, you're still. I just want to say to Brent, real quick, Rishi, before you go. Brent, you're absolutely an idiot. All right, all of those bombs dropping on Gaza. All right, it's just making it a far more hospitable place. All right, I don't even know why the Palestinians would desire to fucking leave. Like, are they dumb? So. As far as forcible population removal, this is crackhead rhetoric, and you should stop. But it's on you, Reed.
May Israel bring their hostages home soon. All of them.
Amen.
And housing houses in Israel.
No, there are no Palestinian hostages in Israel.
There are prisoners awaiting adjudication.
No problem. Let's agree to this. We will release all the Palestinian hostages that are in Israel. All of them. Alright?
By any means, may they get them all home. Whatever it takes, because every life matters.
If I was a Hamas leader, I wouldn't give a single fucking hostage back.
Well, you're psychic, because they aren't. It means Israel gets to kill them.
I mean, they was gonna do it regardless, right?
No.
There's no incentive.
The whole thing could be over tomorrow if you just give the hostages back.
Of
There's
course
no incentive
you
for them
wouldn't,
to do
because you would be a terrorist. Of course you wouldn't. Duh.
Mama, that term terrorist is worthless. The Stern Gang was considered terrorists, and they helped create Israel.
Malcolm, just be careful, because with time you're getting more and more radical, and just gonna be careful with words, like, just lightly.
You're like more radical than people I know that like live in the conflict zone.
Well, Fadi, it's not radical for me to place myself in someone else's shoes. Maybe you're radical for not being able to empathize. But, you know, when the state, which is essentially Netanyahu, right, says, you know, we're going to produce regime change, all right? There will be no permanent ceasefire, whether the hostages are handed over or not, because at the end of the day, Hamas has to go. And, you know, the popular rumor among their population is that this force that, you know, they're anticipating, they're very unethical. So if my mindset is that I'm up against an unethical force who seeks to, you know, oust me, whether I hand hostages back or not, right? Then why the fuck would I hand back the hostages?
I have a
Who's
question
that?
for
Who's the unethical? One second, just one question. Who's that unethical force? The IDF, you mean?
Oh, God.
Just answer like with Joe.
I'm not calling the IDF unethical. I'm saying from the perspective of God.
I know what you said, but you didn't. Okay, you said in their respect. So let me update you that they, especially Hamas, know exactly the high morals of the IDF. They are ones creating the propaganda. They are not deluded by the propaganda. So you believe that the IDF is violent, immoral, or whatever, people, other people. Hamas knows, and also the Palestinians in Gaza will know.
Are you guys
Like this equation, to equate this, so, no, I mean, Hamas.
I'd like to have a back and forth with Ish, if everyone's okay with that. I'd like to continue the back and forth I started. Daniel,
I wanted to respond to Daniel before you start having the back and forth.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to be humble and let Daniel go. Or pardon me, Brent go. But appreciate you.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So, to Daniel, you know, in the midst of whatever just happened, I smoked so much weed that I forgot my point. So we'll move on.
Okay. So, are you still good to have a back and forth?
For sure.
Okay, all right, let's start with some first principles. Do you believe Hamas should be removed?
Why not? I'm not Israeli, so, you know, I'm not obviously as invested in their removal as y'all. But why not? I could give a fuck about them staying.
So why are you invested in this conversation at all? Please.
Why?
He's a troll lord. He's a troll.
Well, if they were in downtown Brooklyn, would you want a terrorist gang removed from downtown Brooklyn?
Like, that's not even a question I can take seriously.
Okay, would you? Take it jokingly.
Come on, you're cold. Like, you know the essence of that. What's understood don't need to be said.
Okay, good. Then you'd want them removed from where they are. If you want them removed from one place, you want them removed from another place. There's not, like, relativism when it comes to removal.
Alright,
either one or you don't.
Remember, Yaakov.
A minute ago, you were talking about empathy.
Okay, you're liberated with deemed terrorists. Don't forget that. The Stern Gang of Israel that essentially
Forget about the definition. Forget about the definition. Hold on.
No.
Yaakov.
Sure.
Exactly. Forget about the definition. Malcolm. Forget about definition. And you were talking a minute ago about empathy, whatever. So try to think as an Israeli that you have people that are targeting you as a civilian. And would you want them to be like 100 meters from you? Not that hard.
No, I hear you, Daniel. I hear you. And that's why I said, why not? You know, you want to remove Hamas? Feel free. Okay? The international community, they seem to be in agreement with the removal of Hamas. As far as the continuation of aggression is concerned, right? You know, there might be some disagreement there. But I think that earlier, because my point came back to me, the one that I was going to say to Daniel, you did just textbook Israeli gaslighting. And this is why Wikipedia said that the ADL is an incredible source, okay? Because, you know, I'm sure a lot of these extensions of Israel, okay, they're compromised, you know? So you said earlier, hold on, what did you say? The Palestinians and Hamas know the essentially moral platform that the IDF stands on. They know we're good people. And when I hear shit like this, it's just so cringe. I'm sorry.
You said we're.
No, we're good people.
You're including yourself as part of the IDF.
Then you just don't believe it, right, Malcolm? Like, because I understand this.
I'm trying to get to the point, but basically what I'm saying is, Daniel, that was the ultimate form of gaslighting, because in one breath you'll say that, right? But in the very next sentence, you'll say some shit like, you know, well, the whole population has been radicalized. They want to kill all Jews, right? Aren't the IDF Jews? You know, so how the fuck do they go from thinking that the whole, you know, state of Israel is a bunch of demon followers of Satan to having all the faith in the world about the IDF's morals?
Stop. Okay, when I ask you to stop, please stop, okay? I don't have like a lot of energy to listen to your whole spiel after you make your point. So, you're mistaking two things. They know that they can trust the IDF, okay? It doesn't mean that they don't want to kill the IDF or harm the IDF. They just know that the IDF will not harm them. They are not contradicting each other.
You interrupted me to say that small of a statement. You could have let me finish, okay?
No, that was your point.
Nah, respectfully.
You said, how could I say?
Those two facts, respectfully, no, Dean, I'll let you finish. Let me finish. Those facts, brother, they can't coexist, respectfully, okay? You can't, hold on, Daniel, I didn't interrupt you. You can't in one breath say, right, that the population is genocidal. They want Israel, you know, gone. And IDF is a part of Israel. They're an extension of Israel. And then try to suggest that despite the fact that, you know, they're in such a mentally compromised situation where they can't even think reasonably in relationship to Jewish people, somehow they make exceptions for the very force that they're being propagandized to believe by their own people, okay? It's extremist, okay? So, why on earth, as a Palestinian in Gaza with 40,000 people dead, would I believe, with, you know, Al Jazeera in my state and the media essentially leading me to believe that, you know, these people are all extremists? Why the fuck would I extend an ounce of trust to the IDF? This is gaslighting, bro.
Okay, so the fact that you hate me doesn't mean that I will hurt you, okay? So this is something that they do know. Also, regarding all the numbers and all the videos, they are in Gaza, so they don't get the information that you get. They actually live on the ground. They know exactly when they are being evacuated. They also know why they are being evacuated. They know when Hamas is blocking them from getting to run away. They see the humanitarian aid being sold in the market. Okay, they actually live there. They don't have anyone to debate or win stuff with. They don't read my propaganda or yours. They see what is actually going on the ground, which you can actually also see, but you just don't care because you're thinking that it's all propaganda. But you don't have videos also from the ground from people in Gaza. And they know that if they will see an IDF soldier, they will walk up to him and, you know, they are not threatening like a child, you know, will not be afraid of them. And I mean, we know that they, yeah.
Don't Palestinians throw rocks at the IDF?
Yes, but again, the fact that you hate me, it doesn't mean that I'm there to hurt you. You're kind of saying because they want to hurt us, it means that we want to hurt them. No. It's not the same thing. It's two different, it doesn't contradict the fact that I could, like, you know, you can be racist against Jews and on top of the same thing. Yes, and hate us. It doesn't mean that I will be dangerous to you.
Right, but Daniel, you're changing the conversation here. No one's saying
no, I'm not.
Israelis.
You said that I cannot say. You said that I cannot say.
Real quick, no one's saying that the Israelis hate the entirety of the Palestinian population. What I am saying, right, is that your statements while you're on this platform are that, you know, the Palestinian population is compromised, okay? They grow up in an education system where, you know, they got to deal with, like, basic math problems about killing Israelis, okay? So this is their childhood. You know, this is the indoctrination that they got to deal with as they come up. So I have a very hard time believing that with this sort of social conditioning, right, the Palestinian people are trusting of the IDF. It's just, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So if you would be living in Gaza for 10 months and you would actually see what is going on for 10 months, then maybe even though you were indoctrinated, you see that when there is an attack, you are being evacuated, and you also know why you are being evacuated, because half an hour before you heard Hamas launching rockets. I mean, those things, like maybe you start believing when you go to the market and you see the humanitarian aid being sold there, you know there is no starvation. You understand that the people that are ripping you off are Hamas, because you see the humanitarian aid, it says not for sale. and they're selling it for I don't know how much in the market. They understand reality because it's their life. It's not propaganda. Not from this side and not from that side.
Name one reliable media source in Gaza.
Reliable, there is no.
There is none. I mean, you're gonna have.
You cannot have a reliable. It's like
You're proving my point respectfully. Okay, if these people aren't coming into the if these people aren't coming into contact with the IDF themselves, right? Then all they have.
They do. No, they do. They do come to the IDF. Of course they do.
Generally,
many of them. No, many of them. Listen, when the IDF is kind of taking over a neighborhood, for example, okay, they create like a small passage that all of them need to pass through. It's like a checkpoint to clear anyone without weapons. And then once all the population is cleared, they go inside. They see them all the time. They see that they don't execute them. They meet them. They are the one when they are going to run. They see that they are guarding the road from Hamas to arrive.
But
even if they're not direct contact.
But Daniel, that's like, I think your argument would get stronger if you used a different word than trust. Like, trust isn't a, all or none. There's a gradient there, and I just think it's a reach. I'm actually with Ish on this one. I know what you're trying to say, but I think you're reaching too far, and it's undermining your argument.
I don't know if like what level of trust you mean. They know that they
trust is
will not shoot them in the face.
Right, that's a low bar.
Right. Well, no, that is
what you're talking about is they understand the IDF. Trust like the same way you would trust your father or your mother.
No, they know
trust that's associated with safety.
Listen, I don't doubt that. Listen, when they're being, some of them are aligned with Hamas and they will stay voluntarily to be human shields. Some of them are prevented by Hamas. They see like maybe they don't trust the IDF at this point, but when they see how the IDF is operating with time, they do know. And also the senior ones definitely know the morals. This is the reason why they're choosing schools and hospitals and children. They know the morals. They've been engaging with the IDF many, many times. They know that for example, we wait for children to leave before they attack. They know this, at least the senior ones. And the others, I think within 10 months that they probably, some of them met soldiers on the way, they saw that no one is like being brutal to them. Yes, it's a different army. I don't say that they come and hug them. Maybe if it sounded like this, then no. I'm just saying that they know that they will not just like snipe them and kill them.
Yeah, I think understand, and there's some word between understand and trust that capture this better, but I get what you're saying. They know that the IDF isn't just going to go to a civilian neighborhood and do what Hamas did. They know that. And if you want to call that a level of, security, fine, but they also know that 40,000 of their people have been killed, mainly women and children.
I don't think they know this, Father.
I don't think, I'll be honest with you, I don't think they
know
this. They know the number, the West knows the number.
With not one reliable media source in their country, somehow the Palestinians have arrived at the conclusion that, there's not mostly women and children dead. They believe, in spite of their compromised media, in spite of not one reliable platform existing in Gaza, they somehow believe that, the IDF is trustworthy. Got it.
Good, so we can move on. I think the people that are out the ground don't necessarily need. They know families, they are like big hamulot.
They're not shooting them when they try to flee.
They have channels, but they talk to each other, group chats.
Sorry, why would Palestinians not know that? Like, doesn't the Palestinian Health Authority report numbers regularly? I'm missing your point. I know you're making one, but I just don't follow.
Me?
Yeah, why would the Palestinians not know the news reports of 40,000 dead?
No, they know the news reports. I'm just saying that they also know that what those news reports are worth.
I'm not convinced of that, to be honest. I have nothing to back it up.
So you're not convinced that the Palestinian
Look who's here, Angela.
Regular?
No.
Oh, hi, Angela. Can't get into the room. They don't let Jew haters in, do they? So you gotta come to my little spy room here.
If you're on the ground, you can actually.
You didn't go to USC, class of 24. What?
And with time,
is this a different Angela?
500 dead in El Ahali, and you walk on by and you see
Animal
that there are all
rights
these things
activists?
that you
Wow, you
understand,
whack, bitch.
and you also see the many people that are participating in propaganda videos.
Is this Angela? It's gotta be. There's no other angel that runs around this fucking app and wants to listen to Jews talk all day long. You're the only deranged fucking Jew derangement syndrome retard. There's no doubt that it's you. You went to USC, graduated 24? I don't understand. What, did you just finish a master's degree or something? But you know what's interesting, Angela, is like, why haven't we ever heard from an actual Palestinian? Have you ever spoken to an actual Palestinian on the ground in the West Bank or in Gaza or somebody living in Europe, like an authentic one, not somebody who's adjacent, but somebody who like knows somebody and is like, yeah, my brother's fighting, he's in a fucking apartment building somewhere, you know, like shit like that. You never heard it. But you can hear all these Israelis. I guess terrorists don't like to talk on camera. And this is why Malcolm doesn't want to record himself, because this young black radical, aka Ish, is an extremist psychopath.
People are going to the market and seeing, and they actually see what building was destroyed, and they know families from Deir al-Balah, they know families from Rafah. Tell me why you think they would. Tell me what you think. Forget about me.
Look, I think it was Fadi that said it the best. There's some word between understanding and trust that we looking for that best addresses the situation. But without finding it through that one word, right? There's so many words. Basically.
Introduce yourself. I guess the statistic shows that higher your education, the less, the more you tend to be, agnostic, atheist, or at least not subscribe to any particular Abrahamic religion, for example.
Do you think there's a direct correlation between higher education and a belief in God, or no?
I mean, the reverse.
I'm sorry?
There's a reverse correlation, definitely. I think
No, there's not.
Reason as to why.
Because I've read a lot of like advanced theology books, and they're basically scientists.
It's totally irrelevant because, as I was saying, all of these so-called church fathers are exposed and shown to be false. So according to the book of Revelation is canonical. Yeah, it doesn't matter if they made it canonical. It doesn't matter. You know, it's definitely not.
John made it canonical, and yes, it does matter, Stanley. It does matter, Stanley. Put me in the queue, Stoic Nauseous.
Because they canonized a book that was already in circulation, therefore they're the authority?
Dare.
No, I asked you a question. How?
Afwan, assalamu alaikum.
That they canonized the book that was already in circulation, therefore there are an authority. How does that work?
The fuck?
No, I asked you, that is your argument. You're saying
Oh my god. Meta is insane. They delete everything. You can't even use Meta live stream anymore. It's crazy.
Is that your argument?
They agree with all of my responses. It's such a waste of time. Instagram is pathetic. It's nothing even controversial. Wow, Big Brother is here. It's called Meta. Big Brother is Meta.
They're not consistent with they're not, I'll answer your question.
Excuse me, I got a question. Do you think that Meta's like Big Brother?
But again, you're diverting to a different point. I already said the first book of Enoch, I already accept the first book of Enoch because it's consistent with the books of Genesis all the way down to Revelation. The other books of Enoch.
Wow, Instagram is shit.
What? The fact that they canonize...
We've removed your content. It's over. You can't even use Instagram anymore.
Genesis to Revelation, which are already books that were in circulation. Therefore,
An unexpected error has occurred. You have insulted Mark Zuckerberg. Hi, there's other people in the room. Can other people possibly get in this amazing queue, gentlemen?
Oh, wow. He just runs away when I ask him why he doesn't follow the church fathers.
No, I think I'm still arguing.
Okay.
Still very arguing. He needs to know that there's more things he can talk about in life. He's young. Yeah, like girls, chicken, food, I don't know, silly stuff. That is all he does. It's not good for his growth.
Yeah, what growth? That's called mental health derangement syndrome.
Making me feel disabled now. Yeah, whatever. I think arguing is not good for the psyche.
Arguing is actually very good for your mental health.
Oh yeah.
Wait a second, the argument is circular, Benny. Come on. You're saying because the Bible says so. Like, I would grant him that. Except he's taking it completely off of scripture.
Wait, what was his argument?
Here we go again. They're gonna repeat the logic again. Oh my god. Here we go again. Are you seriously gonna repeat the whole thing again? Are you really gonna repeat the whole thing again?
I'm not, but thank you for yesterday, Adrian. That was really good.
No, Benny Adam, and then the last part, he just wants to dismiss the church fathers, and I was asking him who was in authority between the books of Genesis to Revelations.
Who cares? You know what? Human beings are fucked up. Like, this is what I think. And few of us live through life.
This is basically you, Angela. Just the Persian version. She's just slightly more Persian than you.
That's the thing. Do we live this life in truth?
Less Afghani. You're more of a mountain tribal. She's more of cosmopolitan city type.
The human condition.
Villages versus city types.
We free ourselves.
I might be doing tapeo right now.
Wait, why can't it be all three?
How do you do that? How do you live with that contradiction?
I mean, 8 hours.
Let's refer back to Hegel.
Why haven't I been able to do it?
Yeah, because you spend 8 hours a day, right, doing one, and then 8 hours a day doing the other, and then 8 hours.
But I'm not living a life of authenticity.
No, for 8 hours you are. When you're sleeping.
That's mediocre. Like, it's either all truth or it's nothing.
What is truth?
You're such a troll, Stoic Narges.
No, I'm not kidding you. I get scammed and things like that often in life. Like, I trust easily and get screwed. Like, and this is not the first time. It's constant.
Well, there's only now.
What's happening? Like, why is this?
Actually, can you lend me $100? I gotta go pay my electric bill.
I'm serious. Like, how does one deal with it? And how does one live like so many different?
You just live with words and you stop with all the bullshit exchanges and scams. Just words are free. It doesn't cost you anything to come on this app to just think and talk and talk and talk and talk and jerk yourself off and talk some more and jerk yourself off and talk until you do meditation and silence your mind. You dumb fucks will keep repeating yourselves till your moon turns blue.
I'll take shrooms and see them.
Yeah, he's right about that. I think
No,
it's
look, let
happening.
me tell you this, right? As a Gen Zer, right, we are all forced to live multiple lives. We are very unauthentic. Look, it's a Monday.
If you really identify yourself as a Gen Zer, you don't get the point. You're God in drag, you idiot. You're not a Gen Zer. You're a bitch. You're a Muslim little hussy. Go sip your coffee and go pray to Allah. Allah. Allah, 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 Allah. What are you gonna do? Do you even put cream in your coffee? I bet you don't even put cream in your gahwa. Min fadlak gahwa. Why not do both?
Let me tell you this, right? I'm not an Arab, but I know for a fact, Adrian, you're an Arab man, and I'll just cuck you right now.
You think you're gonna cuck me? How are you gonna cuck me?
I'll put you in the cuck chair. Okay.
You gonna cuck me?
Look at even Smith where I said some brain wrong. Welcome to my generation.
Your generation? Schmucko, if you're smart, you're smart. It doesn't matter what fucking generation you're in. If you come on a social audio chit-chat app and just run your fucking mouth and don't educate yourself on anything, you're a real fucking schmuck. That's what a schmuck is. You might be a schmuck. Have you thought about that?
You're just doing me micro penis energy vibes right now, Adrian.
Oh, it's so quiet now.
Well, you know, you're projecting your own micro penis onto my giant schmeckle, so I feel bad for you now. I didn't know you had a tiny penis.
You muted yourself when I said micro penis energy.
I didn't know you had a micro penis. I'm sorry, but now I feel some compassion for you, and I realize I'm being very aggressive against a man with a micro penis projection problem.
Can't happen. I'm a black man.
You're a black man?
Yes, I am black.
Well, Mazel Tov. What part of Somaliland are you from? The northern, the southern, the eastern, the western? Do you have an uncle who's a pirate?
That's right. That's right. The part that'll cuck you. That's right.
You're gonna cuck me. I can't wait.
Yeah, you're gonna see 68 IQ Somalians take their boats and come to America. You're gonna see that happen.
Wow, don't spill your coffee. It's a rough voyage.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna come and politically dominate. That's it.
Wow, you're gonna come and politically dominate us, and you're gonna cuck all us white boys. Ooh, can't wait. Oh, do you know how to make a burrito?
Somalians are coming over on the boat.
Do you know how to turn an oven on and put a Domino's pizza in and then come drive it to my Aunt Shelley's house?
Look, you're actually eating Domino's pizza. That's how I know this is in late stage.
Can you bring her 2 lava cakes, please, and maybe a large Diet Coke? She has diabetes already, so this might finish her off. We're looking for the inheritance.
Your mom has like 3 like fucking sugar daddies.
No, my mom's got about 300 sugar daddies. She's a professional prostitute. I know in Islam prostitution may be haram, but in the white Caucasoid races of the Americans, prostitution is becoming legally acceptable as well as an actual source of legitimate income. If you can rent your couch or your 3rd bedroom on Airbnb, why can't you rent your pussy out? Decentralization of vaginas now. Decentralize and liberate the pussy.
If I do a George Floyd on you right now, so.
You're gonna George Floyd me? Oy vey, they just let the cop out of jail. They George Floyd. He's a free man again. 3 years in prison for putting down a drug addict prisoner, passing around fake $100 bills and killing people. Mazel tov. Nicely done, soldier.
Listen, rest in peace, George Floyd. He was a great man.
That's true. I'm a producer of a new musical. It's called George Floyd the Musical. Maybe you've heard of it.
Imam. That's what he was.
The Imam. Allahu Akbar. Allah Gahwa. Hu Akbar. Gahwa. Hu Akbar. Allah. Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Oh, do you mean you have emotional response to a guy on an internet gaslighting you by putting words in your brain?
Why are you getting upset about it?
See, you guys are still stupid. You think that you're Muslims. You're not Muslims. You're morons.
I'm not a Muslim.
Well, you're a moron. That's my point. I don't care if you're from the land of Zanzibar. You're still a moron.
Sure, but I'm not a Muslim.
Well, Mazel Tov and L'chaim. I don't care if you're from planet Venus. I mean, your beard looks like you've got fleas in it. Maybe you should like take, a flamethrower and burn that beard off. My wife's pussy? Well, Bayek wanted to cuck me. Now my wife's pussy's got fleas in it? Damn.
Does this guy sound like he has a wife and kids?
Duh. Ain't no wife over here.
Crust on his fucking chair.
I got crust on my dick. It's called smegma.
I know, but you freaking be masturbating way too much, guy.
Well, I have a beautiful angel in the audience. She's from northern Afghanistan, and she came from money. She didn't milk the guy, but he ended up being a loser. A loser. And now she's engaged to a shooter. A shooter. Oh, Angela, you poor, poor woman.
That's what we're operating in truth, love, and light. When you can actually give me the truth.
Give it to me.
Actually get the picture painted for
Give
you
it
right
to me.
This
I'm
is why I
gonna
do
give
not
it.
judge people.
I'm gonna give you the truth. And the truth will set your ass free, motherfucker.
I try not to judge them, and it's for this very reason. Because I know that
Give me the truth.
are moved
Give me the truth.
based off of the love of this world.
Huh?
The love of the money of this world.
Now we talking.
People will sell everything. Sell their proverbial soul. Sell your soul. Sell their kids' soul.
I'll sell your soul.
Just to have a piece of the pie.
Give it to me.
So,
box that water up and let me drink from the Lord of the light of the faith of the universe. Give it to me.
Fixing the financial, what I call it, crippling. And this is worldwide. The people
change of staff, right? So I would kind of alter it like that.
But science does not provide the data to do what you faded out. It doesn't provide the data to do what?
To turn a staff into a snake, right?
Turn a staff.
I'm not sure. It's certainly not like a mathematically rigorous notion. I'm not sure. It's not more of like a colloquial notion. I'm not sure.
Angel, I don't know if you know this, but I just love like calling people Jew haters now. Cause like if they spent years creating Jew hate, like, oh, I love calling them out. It's so much fun. So if you ever get to Congress and you're on Instagram or something, I'm gonna call your ass out as a Jew hater. And you're gonna be like, I fucking hate you, motherfucker. You're gonna go crazy. But I'm gonna prank call you when you're running for Congress. And you're gonna lose. And you're gonna be like, that fucking Adrian Dittman, he called me out as a Jew hater and he ruined my campaign. And then you'll be like, never should have gone against the Jews.
In one case, all you think is being said is
and it worked. It really, your voice went up 3 octaves, dog. You woke up the bird. The bird. And you got scared. Don't talk about my bird, son. Your bird. Don't bring Nelson into my espresso. Do not bring Nelson into this.
My cups was sitting in a cart, so now I get to get the jump rope and my espresso cups. So I'm happy.
I'm drinking an espresso right now. About to jump rope. No lie.
Hey, what time is it over there?
Yeah, I'm gonna be taking some
jump rope and espressos.
I arrived home. I'm making food. And what about you?
Just not sitting at home.
Yeah, you can, but I think most people would probably want to use the boat. And the boat I'm talking about is make sure your career is in order, make sure your physical body is healthy, and make sure your relationships are in order.
As science projects. This is a science project, y'all.
Okay, this is going to be the last room. This is called chillism.
How far parents are willing to allow these
This is the dumbest room on Clubhouse. It's hilarious.
And it's
This is the kind of room that will run forever. And I think recording it is important because nothing really gets discussed. So it's like the perfect example of Seinfeld, where like if you really wanted to create like a viable show, this room is like the amalgamation of stupidity, or the dinner for schmucks of perpetual motion. This is the river of slime and stupidity and cretinism and idiocy. This room just slimes along like a lava flow out of a volcano of dumbery and stupidity.
And then my mom did.
This is the kind of room where I can leave and come back 8 hours from now, and it's the same fucking room 8 hours from now. But this is the great thing about doing this is like leaving my house but live streaming it all, and usually the most I can get is like 4 hours before before the Instagrams and the YouTubes die. But YouTube allows you to record for 8 hours or more. I mean, even 24 hours of chillism. So YouTube is always the way. It's a little less restrictive, but everything is a waste of time. Unfortunately, this is an impossible journey that I'm going on because of the censorship. And if you just record a chillism room for 8 hours, YouTube, Instagram will take it down because somebody's going to say something ridiculous and controversial and obnoxious. So this is why live streaming is basically a ridiculous platform. And I think the lag of live stream, I believe, is 13 seconds. So as you're live streaming, Google has thousands of people looking at all the live streams and deleting and monitoring and recording even.
I'm a little confused. Well, having too much estrogen in women can be a problem as well as men.
Here we go again with the estrogen.
So it just affects us in a
when you were 6 with that date or even that time, so that it's 100% clear that we the people have taken our country back and screw.
Good luck with that. It ain't gonna happen.
More people in the that less people in the scientific community believe in God than in the medical field. That's what John said.
Right, in the medical field, yeah. Yes. I was saying that.
Do it, Telegram. So I know that if I buy a house, I buy a jet, something like that, I'll be spending time trying to make it nice. This will require a lot of time and effort.
Would you go with leather seats or velvet seats?
Oh, this is the Telegram CEO with Tucker.
Make decisions that would influence how people communicate rather than choosing the color of seats in the house that only I and my relatives or probably a bunch of my friends will see.
Interesting. And you didn't take, because I just have to say the third time, haven't seen this before. You obviously were famous as a young man, as a company builder and entrepreneur, and so you could have really taken a lot of money, and you didn't because you didn't want to be controlled.
I just didn't see any reason to do that. I had enough money to get by. Well, to be completely fair, Telegram did take outside money. We issued bonds 3 years ago, so we raised debt, and that was. And before that, we had a cryptocurrency project that also raised some funds. So there were instances where we raised outside funding. But when it comes to company's equity,
you didn't give up ownership.
We didn't give anyone ownership or voting control or anything like that. Because we also believe in efficiency. I think that having myself as the sole owner, director, and product manager for this.
So this is a really good interview. I'm probably gonna come back to this.
Allowed us to move faster. How could you be the only product manager? Are you still the only product manager of the company? Exactly. I still come up with most of the features.
So there's been like a rash of break-ins in my area. Schwartz is fucking busting your windows open and robbing your house.
I'm running this company because I enjoy it. I'm the only product manager because I think this is the way I can contribute.
How big is your HR department?
0. Well, you could say it's me, and because the way we hire engineers,
you need a big HR department. You don't think? You don't suffer without one?
Tucker's so facetious.
We started a platform where we host contests for engineers. It's actually contest.com. We have a separate platform for that, and we select the best of the best engineers as a result of the competitions that we organize. We hold them every month or 2 months. So after a series of these competitions, we select the best of the best of the best, and they then maybe can join our team, which is just about 30 engineers. So it's a really compact team, super efficient. It's like a Navy SEAL team, and this is how we operate. We don't need HR department to find
He doesn't know what HR is, huh?
Somebody like to infiltrate. Maybe they do a whole like thing to make sure, but like if you're supposed to be trying to be so secure. But also maybe they help you stay on top of the game. We have these contests every couple of months and you see
Yeah, go to contest.com. This is their website. They have all these contests for technology software developers. It's pretty amazing. I don't use Telegram because I don't really talk with people, I guess, outside of like these social audio things.
But think about it. That's how you federal government.
Other than cell phone.
You know, to get these hackers instead of putting them in jail, they actually put them on to work. You know what I mean? So they just got to be properly vet. But this concept is a good idea.
Yeah, companies do it all the time, Juan. Companies do that all the time.
yeah, I know that part, because that's why we never hear like the names of any hackers. They say a hacker hacked. You never hear the name because they hired them. And we talk about in here they have the red team, the blue team, like team of the hackers that can hack into the. Hey, see if you can infiltrate our program. We just built this. See if you can hack into it. That'll be the red team. The blue team will be the ones that build defense. And the purple team is like a little bit of both.
This guy is the new. Fuck, what's the WikiLeaks guy?
Julian Assange.
Meaning that this guy got. Julian Assange is free, and this guy is now essentially an asset of Western intelligence, and they have the keys now to Telegram because this guy he's going to have to do what they tell him to do. I don't think that's, they're not, I mean, he's fucked now. His life is over, and it's because they're going to pin it on him that he's running a Silk Road, an Enigma machine, a Russian cryptography Enigma machine of a black market, a terrorist mafia portal, and his life is over. He's fucked. No, meaning that his life is over. That this arrest means that he's going to be transferred to a CIA prison black site, and they are going to get in and do all the research and get all the intelligence out of the platform that they can drag out of there, or even use it to manipulate and compromise other individuals who are using it. They now have the keys to the Holy Grail. Telegram was the biggest cryptological communication network on the planet, and now the CIA and Western intelligence, whether that's British or French or German, are in control of the keys to Putin's entire communication network.
Or Israel.
I just want to mention one thing. So, Russia is working to free Telegram founder Pavel Durov, and then after now it says France blocks Russian embassy officials in Paris from visiting arrested Telegram founder.
See, and I saw that too, so that's what I'm saying, like, okay, so Russia's trying to get him out, but that's the place that they took, before Telegram he had VK, and he sold it to Russia, like, gave it to Russia and left. So I don't know if he wants Russia to get him out, and I asked earlier, hey, do you think France will hand him over to Russia? Maybe that was a go, I don't know if they, like, are doing deals like that.
No, they're not going to hand him over. He's now an asset.
But then, by the way, let's not forget his brother's brains behind the operation. We don't see his brother in the media, and rightfully so. He should not be, hopefully not, because his brother's the one that makes all the code and stuff like that. He says he does more of the user interface, but his brother is the one that did all the coding, things like that. So he's still out there, so he could still, I guess ideally keep it going or keep running it, or maybe and this isn't their first encounter with like governments coming after them. So I'm pretty sure they have some sort of like plan in place, like okay.
I'm almost 100% sure that Candace Owens is his publicity agent or press agent. She's getting paid by Telegram.
But I think they have having previous encounters with other governments and stuff. This has been his life. He's mentioned earlier in this interview that they live in Dubai for 7 years now. Anywhere else he goes,
Telegram founder is basically like getting fucked like Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's fucked too. Here on Clownhouse in the Bitcoin room, they were going on and on about how he fucked a 15-year-old and he's a pedophile. So apparently he's finished.
Like I'm sure there's some sort of like protocol that he has, no? Or he's caught and that's it. Like now it's
No, there's no black pill or black swan here. He's caught. He's in a prison. He's being interrogated, and he's being pressured to give intelligence agents what they want and what they know is there that they can't view or get access to. He's the key. It's his life. He's gonna be blackmailed and used as a hostage.
I think he should have contingency plans because he did speak with Tucker Carlson, so he does know that his life is kind of in danger. So he would be dumb not to have a contingency plan.
That's the word, contingency plan.
Especially what happened with the WikiLeaks guy. I mean, you have to put that in mind, right?
But supposedly he's free. Supposedly, I mean, was he back in Australia or something?
Yeah, WikiLeaks, but also McAfee. You know, like there's a lot of things going on in that community.
McAfee's dead, but his predictions remain true.
Allegedly.
No, he got off in Spain. I was there. Not just kidding.
I don't know. Okay, so I'll go back to the interview. This is him with Tucker Carlson. We're almost done. This is from 4 months ago. The clip is going viral, obviously, amid his arrest.
But before you do, Elon Musk said that the U.S. government should arrest Mark Zuckerberg for running one of the largest online child sexploitation platforms in the world.
And that's what people are saying. So you arrest this guy, not Zuckerberg, but Zuckerberg, he has made deals with the government. They're all in it in cahoots together. So
He 100%, and it is Big Brother. They end your live streams. You can't say anything controversial. Medical misinformation policies. Meta and Google are Big Brother. They are the deep state.
And he said that this guy, like he even said, like he gave all the stories of his encounters with governments and stuff, well, the ones he shared with us in this interview. But then after all that, he said, and my biggest pressure, it wasn't from the government, from different governments all over. It was actually from Apple and Google. And I was like, whoa, that's actually a crazy thing for him to say. And he said that Apple and Google come at him like even harder in their privacy things and like all the ways they try to like censor and like it's crazy. But he has to go.
That's what I said the other day. Oh no, that's what I said. Like, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go.
No, let me eat my ramen real quick.
I actually ended up eating ramen last night. Anyway, yeah, he said that like he has to compromise with them a little bit because obviously they would take it off the app stores, so he compromises when it comes to the children and crazy. He said at least that version of Telegram. And it got me thinking like, okay, so what other version of Telegram is like that we don't have access to this not through our app stores. At Android, I got Google Play. So
It's true. It is an Apple and Google and Samsung world.
so there are even less censored versions of Telegram out there that you don't get through the app stores. Let me think about that. But yeah, he said Apple and Google. He said he gets more pressure from them.
Dude, you know why, right? Because in America you have two establishments. You have the Eastern establishment and the Western establishment. The Western establishment is the new money coming up now to take control of America. The old establishment was the Eastern with the bankers and so on and so forth. The new establishment is the Western, which is the Silicon Valley guys, you know, tech guys, and their money now is challenging the old money. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what's actually happening right now.
Yeah, but money don't challenge money. Money is just money.
The technocrats, right? Like this is literally what's happening now. Like you see all these oil people, all these old money people getting hunted and fleeing the country and all that, where the technocrats are literally having a monopoly. And even this entire war with Ukraine, it's all tied into each other. It's new money attacking old money.
Yeah, and that's exactly
I don't think it's old versus new. It's just money. And the problem is the Federal Reserve is overseen by Maxine Waters. You know, Trump and Kennedy are forming a unity party against the vaccine, against war, forever war, and against censorship. Censorship is the problem. I mean, you don't need to be a racist on social audio, but you need to know the truth, which is there is a deep state and the skull and bonesmen control everything. You just don't know it.
Just said with Trump and Kennedy, those are the part of the Eastern establishment. Yeah, they're actually in battle with the Western, like you guys just said. The oil guys, the tech guys, that's the new money, like the brother just said before. And that's exactly what's happening right now in America. That's exactly where it is. It ain't about Republican, Democrats, about black, white. They make it seem like that, but it's these two old establishments, and they're at war. One is making it's like the mob. You know what I mean? He's trying to get rid of the Godfather to become the new Godfather. Ever since Silicon Valley, pay attention to your politics. Ever since then, bro, it's the Silicon Valley and oil guys versus the old dudes who you chose to be your bankers, you know, your rich families, and so on and so forth.
It's deep state versus the alliance. Deep state are the bad guys, alliance are the good guys. Trump, RFK, Elon Musk, Candace Owens, Julian Assange, all these people are on the alliance side.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, I don't think that like him being after your friends and stuff like Russia trying to get him out, like he's scared of his home more than anything. He don't speak about which he never fuck about the United States, he'll give a fuck about France, he'll do that about none of it. But it's like the way he coded that app. And it's like they wanna break into it. Somebody was saying it, maybe it was cute. Like the coding of the app, they'll never be able to break into it. But it's like, you know how they interrogate the people and they start doing like the little war tactics. They're not gonna do that with him. And somebody said something about his brother. I'm pretty sure his brother already took refuge. And that's why Russia hurried up and trying to get him out. Because you think like somebody like that who ain't used to something like that, they might only take so much before they start talking. But he's not about to talk because he got too much to do. But the situation with him is going to bring a lot of things, but it's going to bring a lot of big players to the game. They ain't just going to want him to fix it. They're going to try to keep that man.
And let's not forget that Telegram has their own like blockchain, they have their own coin called Suncoin. Yeah. So there's that. They said, I think they said it went down or whatever, but so there's that. And I feel like he's some.
Or you could do that on the outside. You can just keep moving. Keep yourself so busy you don't have to face who you really are. But you're weak. Back the fuck off me. I'm like you, Dina. I'm weak too. I can't get through this without somebody to touch, without somebody to love. Is that because sex numbs the pain? Or is it because I'm some evil fuck monster? I don't know.
The fuck is that?
Real expansion. Absolutely, and that's what's happening in the case of Israel, okay? And trust, the Americans use some of the same pretext.
We're done. I'm not doing
No problem.
We're done.
Rooms are like a span. I think what is missing again is the intention. There's difference between conquering on purpose.
But I never
and
spoke to
defending.
intention.
And once
That's why
you
I'm saying, like,
exactly. Because the intention matters. Hold on, Jacob, I'm trying now to.
Sure.
The intention is exactly what matters. And this is why you don't talk about the intention. This is what Jacob is trying to tell you. That intentions do matter. The fact that someone, for example, dies, you don't know if someone killed him, if he OD'd, or tons of reasons. Caleb, go.
Well, hold on. Let me just say one thing.
My grandfather taught me, Yaakov, take it back.
One second. I just want to finish this up. Manifest Destiny was the U.S. notion from.
No. Just stop. Yaakov, please.
Don't tell me. Please, just give me a moment, okay? No.
No, it's but the what the Manifest Destiny is not important. I'll tell you.
Yes,
why.
it is because I want.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm gonna help you.
No, you're not.
I'm gonna help you out.
I'm not here. You're
Yaakov.
okay.
Yaakov, stop.
No,
you're not. This is not like you.
This
is not like you.
Come back, God. Come on.
Okay, Malcolm. Manifest Destiny is the desire to do something proactive. Okay, you cannot apply that to Israel. It's just two separate, distinct, different things. End of discussion. Caleb, go.
You're both making a mistake, which is that analogy is the worst form of argument. You took his trap, Yaakov, and Malcolm.
Trap. I stopped it.
Listen. You miss his point.
This is so
when
funny.
You get bogged down in the false analogy. Bring data.
This is like green bean
right? Analogy is the worst
supremacy.
form of argument. Make a real argument, both of you. Neither of you are making arguments. Getting bogged down into the little butchy. Oh, you didn't use the right word. Oh, it's so stupid. Malcolm's capable of having a sophisticated conversation. So are you.
So Caleb,